Hello everybody. I'm going to do a video series here on this separator I'm making for my dust collector. I purchased one of the Win cartridge filters, which are, I bought the nano filter, which is actually cost me more than the dust collector itself. So I wanted to protect it as much as I could and build a separator to get the majority of the particulate, or all of it if I can, before it even goes into the dust collector. So I'm building this on the fly. This is my plan here that I've laid out, and I'm going to try to take you through it. I don't have anything documented elsewhere, so I'm just going to do it and see what we get. So I'm going to zoom in and kind of show the general dimensions on this, and little by little it will go away as I make my cuts. So hopefully you can kind of get a shot of the basic overview. I'm going to go ahead and show the principle behind it. Let me turn on my macro. This section here is where the air will come in, the dust, and I'm actually going to use just a 4-inch takeoff. There's another gentleman on YouTube has built one of these top hat styles. It's got a great video. He's using a 6-inch, and for the most part it's similar to his, but my construction is going to be a little bit different, so I'm just going to give my take on it. So anyway, the dust will come in here, and starting right here there'll be a slot cut out, and this is where the material will drop down into the waste bin, and there will be a top piece. It'll get clearer later, and that will be the outlet which goes to the actual dust collector. So the first thing I did was I referenced the center point here, and I measured in from the edge at the top 11 and 15/16, as well as the same dimension from the side, and drew out my crosshairs. And I also did this on the bottom side of this, and that will come in clear a little bit later, so I could get the same point on both sides to start my circles. Moving up to the top, I have a outer diameter circle here. The first line is a 11 and 15/16 radius, or a 23 and 7/8 diameter. The next line in is actually going to be cut on the bottom of this, and this is the recess that will actually fit over the waste can. I purchased I believe a 32-gallon Rubbermaid Brute can. I think they're about $32 without a lid. I picked mine up for $25 out the door, so I did pretty good on that. So these two lines are made on the bottom. They're just on the top for reference. So this one, the outer diameter is 10 and 15/16 radius, or 21 and 7/8 diameter, and the next one in would be 10 and 3/16 radius, or 20 and 3/8 diameter, and that will leave a 3/4 inch groove to snap down over the can. Then moving into the next line, we have a 9-inch radius, or 18-inch diameter, and then we have one more circle on the very center, which is 7 and 7/8 radius, or 15 and 3/4 inch diameter. And that line here and the next one out is what makes up this 1 and 1/8 drop slot, and this material will be totally taken out altogether. It'll become clear as I move on. The next reference here is off this center horizontal line. I have a 120-degree line that's thrown down that terminates at the 9-inch radius. And then I have a short section here that runs over and terminates here, and that inside is a 8 and 15/16 radius, and the outside is a 9 and 1/16 inch radius. And this is going to give me an 8-inch slot, and this area will actually be recessed, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch, and it will hopefully become clear later. So the only other two measurements on this one is the actual intake. Starting right here, this is for a 3/4 inch vertical piece of MDF, and it actually starts right here at the 9-inch radius, and it moves out 3/4 of an inch, and from this horizontal reference line it comes down 16 inches and stops here, and this will be cut out. And then from the inside of this 3/4 upright to the inside of this 3/4 upright, I have 4 3/4 inches to the inside, and this of course will be 3/4 inch wide as well, and just terminate right here on the inside of this area. So that's the general layout of this. I do want to make a second note that this cut on can, or this is cut on the bottom for the can. These are only reference marks. We won't do anything with these on the top. So I'm going to get a shot of the upper plate and kind of describe the layout on that one as well, and then we'll move forward and start building this thing. Okay, here's an overview shot of the top plate that will be on it. As you can see, it's kind of drawn in reverse. That's because once I make all my cuts using my reference lines, it will be flipped over and then it'll match the other side. These dimensions are a little bit different on this one, and I only had a couple of pieces of 3/4 inch MDF left that were sizable to make this with, and I didn't want to go out and purchase a whole sheet just for a couple pieces. So I'm designing this around what I have. You know, this may be a little more difficult to do as the way I'm doing it, but I believe it is going to work. So I'm going to step through this one and give a general overview of it, and I'm going to come in and turn on my macro and basically do the same thing. Okay, starting on the center of this board, to find my center, I came down from the vertical 10 3/16 inches, and I came in on the horizontal 10 3/16 inches and drew my crosshairs, and that is my reference point right here in the middle. So I'm going to move out to the outer radius, which of course is 10 3/16 radius, or 20 3/8 diameter. And the next one in is 9 1/8 radius, or 18 1/4 diameter. And the third and final one in on the outer edges is 9-inch radius and 18-inch diameter. Now this will make up a 1/8 inch groove that I'm going to cut into this, maybe a 1/4 inch deep, with a router bit, and it terminates here. Will be the edge of the end of my cut, or the beginning of my cut, and it will run all the way around to here and stop. Now also in the center I have a 2 1/32 radius, or a 4 1/16 inch diameter hole. This area will be removed. This will be the outlet, and what I'm going to use for my outlet is just a 4-inch hose coupling that will be installed in this, which is why I have kind of an odd measurement there, because that's going to accommodate the piece I have and the piece I'm going to use. Excuse me. So again, moving over into this direction, we're starting off from the 9-inch radius. We're coming straight down 16 inches, terminating here, and again this will be a 3/4 inch vertical piece of MDF. And then moving over from the inside of this one, again it's 4 3/4 inches to the inside of this vertical piece of MDF, which is also 3/4 inches wide. It goes to the bottom and it terminates here on the 9-inch radius circle. So that's a general overview the dimensions, and I believe I'm going to start making some cuts. I have to determine in which order to do them, and I'll step through it.